Hey, I'm Kev, Mr. Con. Welcome back to MXGP Pro as Kev Hillman's qualifying in Switzerland after closing the gap last time out on the onus. He'll be aiming to continue doing that around this hard-packed surface. Very rough surface, undulating as well with the jumps. And at times very wide as you've seen, but very tight as well. It is one of the toughest circuits on the calendar, right up there with the French circuit, and that's why we're using the same setup that we used in France so effectively, did Hillman. As there's no give in the surface, all the give is coming from the bike. So we need all of the grip we can find in this bike around it. This is as we come into the very difficult middle section of this lap. So you go into the jump, go slightly fast into there. You're heading into Mars. Don't want to be doing that as you've got a very good tour guide in front. As this is a long lap as well. 49.2 for Hillman to beat. Don't think it'd be close to that by the end. I was saying we'll be seconds back again, and then we've got to try and find that in the race as well. Then we won't be finding it sliding round it. So you go down the back straight now. This has got some jumps. Got a triple jump here. So first jump, not too bad. Second jump, a bad third jump. Very difficult as it leads into that corner immediately. Don't be getting that wrong. Now as you go into the final corner, over another very difficult jump. And Hillman's actually going to be right up there, is he? 48 for that. So Hillman on pole by over a second. Just when I said there's going to be a difficult track, he's going to take lots of time to learn, we're going to be seconds off the pace. Does that. First time out, ahead of Jonas, Seawer, Olsen and Covington, Boeges, Leiber. Seawer on home turf as well. Garcia, Prado, Lawrence and Patriel. Now they're back in Zaragoza. So does Hillman have the pace in the win the first moto? So here's Hillman revving up at the start then. Waiting for the gates to drop. Bit of a wait. As we're underway in Switzerland in the first moto. And then we're very wide in the first section. As home hero Seawer gets a whole shot. Then we're trying to dive down the inside, just being forced wide. All the way back down to last. He looks to the outside for 21st as he's got his old friend Petrov in front, battling with the Frenchman. As he tries to follow him through, has Seawer now battling with Covington. He's forced very wide again, trying to find an inside line, just not able to find it on this opening lap. It's not the best start from Hillman, as he's just trapped behind riders at the moment. Well, he's finally made it up to 20th. On the inside of a few, up into 18th as he gets ahead of Zaragoza. And the Frenchman holds the inside line nicely through tight corner as well, so up to 17th. Finally seen with some manoeuvres. He's opening up as Olsen now ahead of Seawer, so that has Varner twins. Could be getting away at the front. Actually, Jonas wants to do battle as well. Up in second. Well, his main rival at the moment is battling being a top 15. It's all right, a ride. And he'll win up into 14th. As he's behind the other has Varner of the Brit. What was that in the final corner? Finally looks like he's building momentum and then decides to just nail it into one of the many obstacles around this course. As he does get ahead of the Brit. Up into 17th. As he gone to the second lap. As Ryder down, as he got Caleb Ward behind as well, battling him in the top 20th with Petrov. So he went up to 16th then. He's given himself lots to do after one lap. The mistake-free race didn't even last at that. That shows how poor that opening that was. As Jonas into the lead ahead of Olsen. Worst possible scenario as well for the championship. So that being in the lead. So we're up to 15th. We go through this middle section. Well, he seems to be pretty strong. It's up into 14th. Finally gets the bike going again. As he's behind, I believe, the Italian Bernardini in front. This TM gets right behind the Italian as he's got a cracking battle at the front. Jonas and Olsen as Ilman tries to go down the inside, bank on the inside, catches him out though. Going into the next corner. As it's free wide off the corner. As he's got Leiber and the Russian battling in front. Have 12th and 11th. As Hillman up into 13th then. So this has been a better second lap. Much better second lap. Jonas and Olsen still doing battle like a hell. And Hillman down again in the final corner. What is with that final corner? 2 laps, 2 failures from Hillman. Back down to 17th again, battling with the Brit. As can he get into the top 15 immediately? Can. Nice slide job there. But he's already around 10 seconds off the top at least. He's got a battle in his hands this race. All of his own doing as well. There's Jonas and Olsen still battling over first like hell. At least that's good to see that they're battling. No one's really concentrating getting out in front in these early stages. Here goes Hillman with the dive. Here the American on the outside. Going to get into 14th, he can. Now going to get ahead of Bernardini. The Italian just stops. Interesting tactics from the TM rider. So Hillman does get in front. It's very tight between the pair. So he's up into 13th as Seaver battling for that home podium, home champagne. Ahead of Covington. It's Bernardini not ready to give up on 13th yet. Even though there's a bit of a gap in front to the top 12 now. These have got to actually concentrate on pace and catching back up. Those in front. As what? He's been told to pick up his bike now. 3 laps in a row, 3 mistakes. Just can't keep it on the straight and narrow at the moment, Hillman. But at least he's made the final corner, at least. So that's a massive opening jump. To get back into the top 15. Got the Brit in front. How many times has he battled with the Brit? As he gets into 14th head of the American as well. So that's not good into the right, sliding it way too much. Don't want to slide it at all on this surface. Hillman. He loves sliding the bike. And you could hear he was pumping the throttle earlier just to get some grip on the accelerator, but those sometimes means the rear end steps out of line. He's almost down as he jumps over Bernardini. Having a very poor jump, the Italian. But here's Hillman up into 13th. Is he finally clear of this lot in the midfield? Can he finally make an assault on the top 10 this race? Ryder messes up in front, so that's an easy gimme into 12th. And there's Osland who messed up the Swedes again, trying to slide the back end into a corner. And he's down. What an absolute pathetic start to this race. Well, this first third has gone even worse than it could have been imagined. I guess at least he doesn't last by like 50,000 seconds like he deserves to be. That's only a minor exaggeration. As he gets ahead of the American, he's battling with the Brit again. Can these two just get a room? Seriously. He gets out the final corner. Tries to jump over the Brit. That's not happening.
Into the first corner. So wide open, that first corner. Really does invite moves like that. Down the inside. There's Osland's ahead of Bernardini. Immediately back up into 12th at least for the Swede. And the Yamaha has again trying to slide that rear hit. It's not going to work on this surface. Actually needs to ride properly, Hillman. As the top two are not battling like hell either. That is not a good sign. Seeing Olsen and Jonas not take 10 bells out of each other. So you go finally on the straight and narrow over these sections. Almost jumps over Bernardini again. Gets down the inside of the Italian. Up into 13, gets into Osland. He's very slow in front. And then Olsen just tries to push Hillman wide. What is that from Osland? Hillman over the jump just squeezes out the Swede. And then just squeezing them again into the next corner. So he can't make a move. As he's up into 12th then. So after I think 5 or 6 mistakes in his first third. Are you kidding? Are you actually kidding? Can he not have one lap that goes his way? He could do that again the next lap and just be absolutely fine landing it like that. But somehow he does a 48 despite that fall. As he tries to get ahead of Bernardini into 13th. He's got the run on the Italian down the inside as someone is dropping back in 11th. So when gets ahead of the Italian. So go very tight for the right-hander. It's once again Bernardini on the attack. Well, I say on the attack, he's just trying to punt Hillman round, it looks like. Let's go out the right-hander. So Hillman's got to start setting 46s at least. And however, that's where he's not crashing. He's done 7 mistakes in that first third. That went way worse than he could have expected. I mean, he did want to at least be in the top 10. He's not far off that, to be honest. As he gets down the inside of Osland. And gets pushed wide by the Swede. As he gets down the inside of the Russian. He wants to fight back as well, these three. As the Russian pushes Hillman into Osland. Oh, he's up into 11th. Oh, you're finally making moves then, this race. And Hillman got no pace over these jumps. So, of course, he's not allowed that. There we go. To the end of the lap. Bloody hell, he finally completes that and does a 46.4. Told you he needs to do 46. This just shows the pace he has. There's a top 10 right in front. It's pretty close in front, considering. You can see the top 5 just about, only around between 5 and 10 seconds in front. So he's still not far off the top despite everything this race. There's Hunter Lawrence is in front. And here's Suzuki. The Australian not having a fantastic start like his teammate did with his home support. As in the middle section of this race, this middle third, this is where Hillman needs to attack as well after that poor first third. Needs to not just get into the top 10, as I said, be on the verge of that top 5. This goes down the inside of the Australian. Nicely done. Just let go of the brakes a bit earlier. And then slides wide in the next corner. Almost gets pushed into the signs by Hunter Lawrence. Someone just again dives down here. Gets wiped out by the Australian. So finally gets into the top 10 and then gets wiped out. It's just not his race, is it? often happens with these first races, but not this catastrophic though. Not for a while at least. As he tries to get on the power pathetically, hits a bank. So that 36 that was good, wasn't it? As he backs out with a 48 despite falling. So he's only losing a couple of seconds each fall. So he's had 8 or 9, so he's around 20 seconds back. He's lost. As that's Ben Lopton in the top 10. Fantastic for the Brit. As all the Russians down behind. The pressure of seeing a top 10 in front, too much for him in the end. As Osland climbs ahead. There's no wonder it's close if Watson's in the top 10, who's normally around 15th. Has the odd good race. It's a Brit, but I wouldn't say he's normally in the top 10, unfortunately. It's KTM. Someone a bit wide in this section, but still carrying speed. Almost into the back of Watson. Really had to back out there. So there we go. Good run for the right. Can he dive down the left? He can. Nice smooth move. Up into 10th. As he tries to chase down Hunter Lawrence again. Watson tries to chase down Hillman's rear wheel. Had enough of riders doing that this race. So we approach the halfway mark of this massive complaint of this horror show. So he's almost down again in that right hand though. This might just be his second clean lap of the race. 2 out of how many? And there's another 47 I've seen. That was 47 flat. Just shows you when he actually has a good lap, he's incredibly quick, Hillman. Matching the leaders as again down the inside of Lawrence, and each time just shoves him wide. Let's go for the right, almost taken out by Lawrence again. But he survives. And now he's got the Belgian Leiber in front. And the top 5 right in front as well. Lawrence again with the dive bomb. That's twice now on this lap alone. From the Australian as Bogues battling with Patriel in front. That's it to see for the Dutchman. As you're on the second half of the race. So right behind Leiber. Trying to set up the run through the right-hander. For the left. That's a bit dodgy. As we've got Bogues and Patriel battling over. We've got a good battle over 8th here. As Hillman does the Lawrence move. Doesn't quite work out the same way though. As you can see, he's just starting to use those banks on the inside to help turn the bike as well. That's pretty good on this hard-packed surface. The surface not really giving you anything. Got to use everything you can. Get this bike turned through the corners and find time. So go through the left. Oh, another look at Leiber, but another poor acceleration out the corner. In the final corner, looking to the inside, he sets another mid 46. Why has he been told to reset? He did that line early in the race, and that was fine. Now he's been told to reset it. As I think he's now hit double figures for mistakes. Somehow he's still in the top 10, which I have no idea how Hillman is, considering how poor this race has been. But that's the perfect start to the second half of the race. Just looks like he got some momentum and he's been kicked in the nuts again. Might need a cast for his nuts after this, the amount of times he's been kicked there. As he gets ahead of Lawrence. Looking down the inside of Leiber, who just brake checks him. Good stuff from the Belgium. But Hillman up into 8th. Got Patriel and Bogues in front. Still battling like hell over 6th. And then in front of them is, just ahead of them is in 5th. So despite everything again, still not that far off the top 5 as he's down again. What the hell? So down to 10th again. You can tell this is such a fun race. I don't think he's ridden this poorly in a first race since... Quite has to be since the first 5 races. Like Thailand. Or Indonesia, or even Qatar. Like, this is Qatar levels bad, this race. Somehow he's got pace to be in the top 10 though, that's the difference. He didn't have that in Qatar. As always, allowed to actually take the first corner this time. How generous of them. As you go through left-hander. There's no denying Hillman's made mistakes, but once again, a couple of the falls are just suspect. And steward indecisions as well. As Lawrence is really all over the back of Libo, who's just made a mistake there, into the hairpin. So Hillman's lost at least 30 seconds this race. There's probably less than 30 seconds off the lead. Again, just shows you that that qualifying pace wasn't a one-off. He's definitely got it in the race. And he needs to make the move on Liber in the air. That was a bit aggressive. But he's down the inside of Belgium. He's trying to push him wide. He won't having none of it. Just gets him on the exit. It's almost wiped out on the right hander by Liber. Hillman caught a bit too much for the inside bank there through the right. But 7th and 6th and 5th are still right in front. He's got Bogus in 7th now, behind the Frenchman. But still right in the tail. As Lance ahead of Liber for 9th. Have not heard from the top 5 in ages though, have we? Have Olsen and Jonas just put away the joystick sticks? That's a 35-3 from Hillman. Absolutely killing it, that lap. So we're in the final third of the race. So he got into the top 10, Hillman. He's not on the edge of the top 5 like he would have liked. So that's 2 failures so far. And he's 3rd. So definitely a top 5 finish is the aim from this race still. Maybe even 4th. Because look, he got pairs in front. 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th. It's definitely on the card still. Especially when Pacho and Bogas are battling like that. They're exchanging places every corner, every straight, every jump. Might be exchanging phone numbers after this, around the time they got to know each other. So that's a bit wide from Hillman. Somehow makes it work out as an apex into the next corner. Well, we know Pacho loves Hillman and Bogas hates Hillman, so this will be interesting in front, how this works out. The Frenchman can somehow help out. This long-time rival, friend, colleague. Sometimes stablemate as well, I believe. It's been such a long time since Hillman entered this class. All those years ago. Let's go through the final corner. He dropped down to a 47, but he's now almost onto the tail of Bogas and Patriel. Not a good first corner though. Had to wait so long for the bike to grip there. So in the final third of the race, it should be getting trickier now. So these corners and sections need to really ride like it is a circuit now on the straight and narrow, because some of the rough stuff will flip up that rear acceleration. Maybe just a bit of a narrow line as well with where the grip is. Let's look at Patrol and Bogus. Still exchanging places every inch of the lap. But here comes Hillman to maybe break up the party. Yes, that's not good from Patrol. Hillman takes a look. Oh, Patrol out of shape. Hillman makes the move around the outside, down the inside of Bogus. They're 3 wide on the exit. Hillman's got the inside line into the right-hander. But it just allows Bogus down the inside. Hillman just dives back down the inside, using the bank and decided to get a good run onto this back straight. Over this whoops and jumps section, and looks like he's made it into 6th. As he know, Patrol's fighting back. Let's go for the right-hander. Yes, he's into 6th. So that top 5 dream is right in front now. Bit of a wide line in the final corner though. That's another low 47. Let's go for the first corner, trying not to get that rear 2 out of shape. Did under braking though. So he's got 5th and 4th in front. Then that might be it. He could get another 4th in the first race again, in the first moto of a round, as he's got Seaward in front. That home champagne, a distant dream, unfortunately for him. At least in this first race, you never know what could happen in the second. So went over the jump. You can see a big part of getting that time round is just nailing these jump and rhythm sections. Like, it gains seconds. It's a bit like Supercross in that sense, this circuit. And I guess like every circuit, you would gain seconds like that, but definitely around here you really do feel it. And see it on the lap charts. So that's nicely through the right hander on the power with just over 5 minutes remaining. Maybe 5 laps remaining as well. So got to be 3 normal laps in plus 2 left. It's a bit wide for that left hander. That is such a tricky corner to get right. Despite it looking perhaps one of the easiest on the circuit as well. Like this final corner. So back into the 46s finally. As he's barely full throttle in that first corner now. The Sierra's actually dropping back in 5th. And the podium's still right in front. Just 5 seconds up the road for Hillman. But I don't think he's got the pace to catch up, as you can see. Just be working on catching up to Seaward at the moment. You can see around the second back. Right on the tail of the Swiss rider into his favourite section in the middle part of the lap, the tightest and narrowest section as well, but that's such good rhythm for that section. Catches Seaward at a bad point. There's a little nut down the inside of the Swiss rider, puts him out of rhythm for the next section, so Hillman down the inside. That's the top 5 now, and that's home hearts broken. As it's pushed wide though by Seaward. Through the next right, then he goes wide in the next corner and just allows Hillman down the inside. Don't even need to give him a second invitation at that. As now he's got Prado in front on his KTM. Now can Jonas' teammate do him a favour and keep Kawasaki behind him? Will this be easy meat for Hillman, who's finally got a bit of a rhythm in this race in this final third. So that's not a good final corner, but still a 46, low 46 as well. Not close enough to Prado. Goes a bit wide. First corner. Hillman really struggling to get on that power. As he gets a right little look down the inside of Prado. Over the jump section. Drops back from the Spaniard. Oh, has he got the run through the left hand? And not quite. Good battling here between the youngster and the veteran in this category. Everyone's made the move into fourth. His favourite spot, it seems, in his first motos. Once again, he's in this spot. But third is not too far up the road. Look at that. If that is third, never know, it could be that traffic. As it's Covington, his old buddy, old pal. American drop back in from the top two on his Husqvarna. There's still decent points for him. Very decent points for the championship for the top five in it. It's like it's their top five in this race. With Siwa just missing out. Just like in the championship as well. Funny how the parallels are working out here. There goes Hillman a bit wide through the left. But he holds on to the rear. And through the final corner, that is so rutted down as he sets a 45, did he? Well, that final corner is very rough. So by all the dramas, Hillman could be tasting champagne at the end of this race, which is a Christmas miracle, an early one if you've ever seen one. After such a dreadful race, couldn't even complete a lap earlier without making mistakes. Not all his fault, I'll contend, but still. He's finally found the rhythm. And he's gaining handsomely on Covington. With just 2.5 laps to go. Including this little half lap. And look at that, he's right in the tail of Covington. Just staying away from Prado. And see we're behind. If only there's a couple more laps, he could actually be chasing for victory. There's Covington wide in front. Horrible section for the American. Lucky that's Hillman's worst section as well, though. Let's go down this back straight. So the top two just in front of Covington. So have they not managed to put away either then? So we're a bit wide there. Finally gets that penultimate corner right. There's Jonas leads. And yeah, they are just in front. As Hillman sets another 45, almost jumps over Covington into the podium places. American goes wide, Hillman into third. He can actually still chase down victory, could he? As Covington forces Hillman wide. Immediate comeback from the American. Hillman to the outside, pushed wide by Covington. Oh, he's used to this, isn't he? Covington battling Hillman in the latter stage of a race. As with 1.5 laps to go, Hillman very wide there. Covington again defending the inside. Hillman just can't get any space. He sees a victory in front. He's desperate to get by. There we go. He's finally done it, has he? Snuck in front of Covington. Now let's chase down what could be an improbable victory then. Olsen just in front. So once again, Covington just putting his wheel in. Not even really attempting the pass, just stuffing the wheel there. And he does it into the right-hander. Oh, the worst stage, Hillman's finding the feisty competitor. But again, using that bank for the run down this back straight. Gets in such a good rhythm down that back straight. As tries to go down the inside. No! Are you kidding? The worst time for that to happen. Well, there are his chances of improbable victory gone, despite Jonas, so you can see, just being in front, because Covington has got fight, the American. Of course, we've seen that early in the season, but we've got another Hillman coming to fight happening here as Hillman wide. Seconds quicker than Covington, but he's having none of it. And he's probably protected his teammate and Jonas from losing out, as Jonas looks like he's going to win the first race here in Switzerland and grab back a tiny bit of momentum in the championship battle ahead of Olsen and Hillman. Well, Hillman's got a battle just beyond the podium. Thanks to Covington. There we go, I'm coming into his final middle section of the lap. Half of that to go. Can Hillman grab it back from the American? It's almost into the back of him. Through the left, almost into the back of him again. Dives it down the inside, through the left. Forces Covington right. It's 4 the times he's done that to him. Then through the right. Forces coming to the outside again. And again just blocks the inside. Needed to do that a couple laps ago to the American. He's actually gaining on Olsen, but unfortunately it's too late. Getting any more positions. Oh, now he nails the right hander. Well done, Hillman. Done that too late. Is this that Olsen right in front then? It is! As Jonas crosses the line, Hillman sets a 45 in the final out to grab the podium. So Jonas wins by 1.7 seconds ahead of Olsen, with Hillman just 3.3 seconds back after 19 laps, and over half of them with mistakes. He was in double figures for mistakes for the first time in ages. And just to be 3.3 seconds back, if he wasn't batting Covington so much on that final couple of laps, he could have at least got Olsen. So good job from the teammate to cover his teammate, but still for Hillman that is annoying. With Prado ran out the top 5 ahead of Seaway, a good result on home turf, 12.5 seconds back of the winner, but of course he would have loved to be in the top 5 and having that podium champagne as well. Patriel and 7th ahead of Bogas are a very good race for the Dutchman ahead of Lons and Leiber. Watson just missing out the top 10 in the end, despite being in the top 10 for quite a long stretch of the race. And Osland, Muse, the Russian, Bernardini, Ward recovered to 16th ahead of the American. Petrov in 19th ahead of Monteseri, and Rubini at the back ahead behind Zaragoza. Sermon loses 5 points to Jonas, 2 to Olsen. But can he regain them in the second motor like he so often does? South watching and find out next time.